What's up, folks? Man, let me tell you something. Yesterday, I had a humbling experience with a brisket, man. I cooked many different cuts of meat on my dad's pit, and whew, yesterday, when I tell you yesterday, I was destroyed by this brisket that I tried to put together. I should have known because really wasn't in the right mindset. Test, test, test. Can everybody hear me? Hopefully, you can hear me. I'm trying to get this out before Sunday football starts. Sunday fun day. I tried to cook this brisket yesterday and two ribs, a whole bunch of sausage. The sausage worked out great. The ribs had a great flavor, but the fire was extremely hot, man. That grill uh, really gets hot. And I actually had a thermometer on the inside. At one point, it said 505 degrees. So I had to make a decision. I had to pull that meat off real quick, man, to try to calm this grill down at 500 degrees, and it took a while um, to get that flame down. I just want to tell you, man, that not only do you have to show your victories, you have to show your defeats, and that was a terrible, terrible defeat for me. I mean, the dog's gonna eat well for the next month or so with that brisket. Now, don't get me wrong. On the inside, it was super juicy. It had a good flavor, but it was tougher on the corners that it should have been, and it still was pretty. But I could just tell, me being a barbecue guy, that it wasn't what I wanted and what it needed to be. So that's the beginning of that. So that was a terrible experience. The ribs, I mean, those ribs probably could have been cooked in about 35 minutes, as hot as that pit was. Um, they were one was pretty charred. It wasn't burnt, but it had some char on it. And then the other one was um, also a wake up call. But that brisket, even though I saved it, it was not my best work, and it was very humbling, to say so the least. I figured out, hey man, you can't put the kind of charcoal that you want to put, like I'm cooking 120 pieces of leg quarters. I load that pit up and let it roll. Um, that brisket told me, nah, you can't do that. I'm gonna have to control the fire on that and do a lot more things. I've seen a lot of videos and nobody shows their mess ups. So when I put this video out in a little while after I finish editing and all that good stuff, you'll see, yeah, that one needed some work. And also, you need to be in the right mindset. I wanted to do it. I wanted to see how hard it was for me to get the pit from where it's at by myself and do everything by myself to see how all that stuff wasn't very hard. But then when I got ready, I didn't do what I was supposed to do, and I wasn't focused enough to pull off um, what I was trying to do yesterday. Now the sausage was great. The brisket beef sausage was wonderful. It's pretty hard to cook with sausage. You can put sausage on a on 1,000 degrees, and if you watch it close enough, um, it's going to come on. It's going to be great. But I did not pay the same attention to the brisket and the ribs. And when I saw the temperature, I did not believe the first readings. But then, as I kept looking at the digital thermometer and it kept climbing, I was like, oh man, let me go check. When I said 505 degrees, then I went and looked on the pit to look at the two thermometers that we added to the back side, and they were knocking at 450. So that's when I was like, damn, let me get this meat off of here and calm this grill down. And what I did is I took the meat off, and while the grill was calming down, I just put the sausage on there. I can cook those hot and fast. Put the thermometer in there to see if the temperature was starting to fall while I had the sausage on there, and it did. It fell down to like 300 degrees, and I was like, okay, 300 degrees. I can go back to my regular scheduled program, put the brisket back on there, put the ribs back on there, and then see if I can um, fix what I had started. But I mean, it's a learning process. To each your own. You got to learn, and you got to keep trying it. So I will try it again probably this week with another brisket and see if I can get the coal ratio to pit back to where it needs to be. Because man, like I tell you, it doesn't look very. It's not that bad. I'm probably painting it worse because I want it to be the best that it can be all the time. But man, I just didn't do a good job on this brisket and these ribs. Hey man, if you guys want to talk barbecue, come on. Send me a message. I will send you the link. You can jump in here and tell me about some of your experiences where you were cocky. You were like, man, I've been, this is what I do. I cook barbecue, and at any given time, I can do it. And that brisket was like, word, you're not going to pay attention to me. You are not going to give me your undivided attention. All right, I'll show you. And it showed me. My dogs love it. So if my dogs love it, because my one Newfoundland is bougie, and he don't eat anything, so he loves it. I tasted it's flavorful, but it's not as tender as it should be. The brisket is still juicy, but it's not. When you pull it apart, it doesn't come apart like it should. It's a little stronger than it should be. So it humbled me. Like I said, it was a humbling experience. But the ribs were still flavorful. I tried some new seasonings from Masterpiece. They were flavorful. The jerk, when I tasted it in my hand, hey Kearns, what's up, buddy? Brian Kearns, that boy's a chef. He knows a thing or two about doing great work, and then every now and then having a bad day. Maybe, I don't know. He's a chef. He might be knocking out of the park every day.
It's 11 o'clock.
But man, it was it was humbling. I got my ass kicked by brisket, and the brisket didn't show any mercy. But like I said, the ribs were great. They had a great flavor. Um, they were a little overcooked. One of them was, and the other one was not, which is kind of strange because they were side by side. But one was bigger than the other, so I just need to be wary on what I'm doing. I'm smoking cigars. I'm going to the store. I'm just doing all kinds of things. I'm not paying attention to the meat, and the meat is like, man, I see how you trying to do. You think you right? You got it like that. You rowdy. You can just let this meat do what it does, but I didn't. But like I said, man, before the football games, man, if you guys got time, jump in, send me a DM. I'll send you the link. You can talk about things that you have done on the pit that may have caused, you some nervousness. Damn, I got to feed all these people, but I burnt 10 pieces of chicken. I will replace the chicken with sausage or something quick. Let me get some hamburgers real quick so I can try to get back on my feet. But man, yeah, I'm going to watch some more brisket videos. But the only bad thing about brisket videos is I've only seen one person who cooks brisket without it being offset or with a new smoker where you can really set it and forget it like a Traeger. Like on my Traeger, I mean, the brisket is easy because I set it and forget it. And I set the time, I follow the directions, I season it, I put it on the Traeger and I let it ride. This one is a little bit tricky because it's charcoal, it's not offset. Um, the brisket sits right over the flame, but it is about, I'll say about 2 feet between, maybe 2.5 feet between the charcoal and the meat. That's why it's pretty hard to burn anything on this pit. But if you guys got any pointers, top secrets, how do you cook a brisket over that's not offset? Cock-a-doodle-doo and things like that. Let me know, man. Shoot me a couple videos or couple of talking points because I tell you, man, that I let that charcoal get away from me, and it's because I loaded it up regular instead of planning it out like I would. I mean, when you got chicken, you can load it up. When you got a hog, you can load it up. It's going to be a long cook. That chicken is going to do what chicken does when it's over a flame. But that brisket, ribs the same. Usually, ribs. But like I said, I was preoccupied of doing other stupid crap instead of focusing on the craft. And if you try to do multiple things, it will humble you. And that's what I got. I got humbled. Yeah, it was interesting. So, man, that's my Sunday rant, man, before the games. I'll stay on a little bit longer if somebody wants to jump on and tell us about their terrible experiences. But, man, it was, I tried it. I mean, you'll see the videos later. You'll be like, oh, man, it looks good, but, and it's juicy, but it just wasn't as flavorful and what I thought it was going to be. What's up, Lou? How you doing this Sunday? It wasn't my best. And I would, if I was serving brisket that day at an event, I would not serve that. So there's that. So it's good for home, not good to sell. So that's one of the things I'm going to continue to work on. I see a lot of people on Facebook today getting ready for Sunday football. My boys don't play until Monday on ESPN Plus. Man, ain't nobody gonna watch that, man. Not many people have ESPN Plus, and ain't many people gonna pay for ESPN Plus to watch the Bengals and the Commanders play. I'm just happy that I already got ESPN Plus, but man, NFL, y'all, I know y'all trying to make money, but damn it, man, you just can't charge everybody different things to watch games. ESPN Plus, that's trash, bro. That's trash. People are not going to pay extra money to watch that game on ESPN Plus. They're just not. And I'm pretty sure you're going to see it Monday when you guys look at the ratings that on TV. Ain't nobody buying that game. Me, because I already got it. But other people ain't buying it. What are you guys cooking this Sunday? Salmon? Ribs? Vince, I see you on here. What you got? Ribs? You got lamb back? AE, I see you on Brody, Chris Bowers, Terry Burney, Dino. What you guys cooking on this Super Sunday? Lou, what you cooking today, Lou? Kearns, you working today, bro? What's that restaurant firing up today? I'm just trying to see what you guys got going on before football starts. I know the Cowboys don't play till 4:30. That means you got plenty of time, Vince, to get down there in the dungeon, get your meat ready, get your drinks. Big Nick Ward, what's going on, bro? Okay, Solo. Everybody, listen. If you missed the first part of this, the only reason why I came up here is to tell you that I messed up my food yesterday. And now I'm trying to see who wants to come on and tell me about a time where they messed up their food so I don't feel lonely at the top. It's a learning process just like everything else. When I played football, that ain't true. When I started playing football, I was awesome. Oh, God. Nobody? Okay, listen. This is Derek from Vic's World Famous Cooler Chicken. I am talking to you guys Sunday live about different things. So, I had two events that I've talked to you guys about. One in North Carolina, I had 41 plates, and 41 plates was gone in an hour. And then 2 weeks later, I drove from North Carolina back to Houston to Colorado and sold 124, 5 plates in 3 hours and sold out. I am very appreciative for the two events, and I thank God for letting me and allowing me to push my dad's recipe and food that he has. But where I'm from, we didn't do brisket. And that is something that I am going to have to add to my repertoire, because people like brisket. Brisket's alright. It's not the first thing I look for when I go to a barbecue place is brisket. It's alright. Some people make it great. LJ makes it great, or LJ's Barbecue makes it great out in Brenham and things like that. But I mean, Texas people love brisket and they love steak. That's because they can't do chicken or pork. But their brisket is good. Their steak is great. Their chicken is terrible. Their ribs are smoky. Their beef ribs are great. So you see how I'm going? Everything they do beef is great. Everything outside of beef, not so great. So that's what I'm trying to learn, how to get in that Texas mind frame. Since I'm in Texas, I know I'm gonna have to do brisket. I know I'm probably gonna have to add beef ribs. I'm gonna try to reemerge with pork. Try to get pork back. It's hard. Most people don't cook whole hogs anymore because they don't have. When I was growing up, we had large families come to cookouts, so we cooked whole hog because the whole hog has plenty of meat for everybody. And once you chop it up and you sauce it, then it's a wonderful thing. Then you add chicken to it. Pat, what's up, brother? What's up, Liz? You add those different things to it. So I'm going to try to get back to pushing more pork and pushing more chicken that is crispy. Pat, what's going on, bro? If you want to jump on, let me know. I'll see the link. Those type of things. Because like I said, Texas is great in beef. But it's the other things that they could do better. Pork, chicken, turkey. Their sausage is pretty good also. Depends on where you go. But those other type meats, they do good lamb chops as well. Those are the things they do well. So hopefully I can get in the space to where, okay, man, hey, I saw Vic's Cooler Chicken. I know he's got great chicken. I saw Vic's good Cooler Chicken. I know he's got good barbecue. When we say barbecue from North Carolina, we mean whole hog. Oh, I see Vic's Cooler Chicken's up here. I know he's got good pork chops. I know he's got good sausage. And I know that he is going to transition into beef. It's just a growing. But when I talked to Dino, he told me that just all of a sudden brisket took off, and he had to adapt to the brisket taking off. Because then all of a sudden everybody wanted brisket. Summary. Everybody wanted brisket, and he adapted to stay on top of where he's at. I appreciate that, Pat. Hey, and so, like I said, Texas is definitely known for beef. If it's beef, it's gonna smack. Smack. I'm too old to say smack. If it's beef, it's gonna be good. Other than that, man, it's a because even when they do the chicken, it's a offset. They're smoking it, so the skin never gets crispy, and I don't even think they really care if the skin gets crispy because the people still eat it. They still order it. And I try it just to see where they're at. And I'm like, man, this chicken, bro, this chicken is not chicken in it. Oh, man. So, yeah. Brisket is good, man. You're right. But Goldsboro don't sell brisket. Unless, they might have started selling. Like McCall's is never going to sell brisket. Wilbur's never going to sell brisket. Because they are known for, and I can't say whole hog because they don't cook whole hogs anymore. They cook in shoulders. And you can tell when it's shoulders because shoulders are usually drier than a whole hog. But it's easier to cook shoulders. It's more cost efficient to cook shoulders. You don't have to chop up the whole hog. You're just chopping up shoulders. So it makes it easier on the staff, and you're able to turn a profit. If they cook the whole hog, they'd have to raise the prices more than they already are, which are fucking astronomical. Let me get a barbecue sandwich. That'd be $27.50. What? McCall's. When did you guys start this? Let me get a wing bag. That'll be $32. What is it? $9 a wing? They ain't but four wings in the bag. Four wings, four cornbread sticks. If you add a tea, you knocking at $50. Yeah, it's crazy. But my dad has given me a solid recipe, and he's taught me how to do. Um, yeah, okay, Pat, I see you. So they got some food trucks out there that's got brisket. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, um, it's a it's different. Like some people said they saw brisket. I never saw brisket till I moved to Texas, and that was in 2007. Even when I was at Fort Hood, Texas for exercises, um, there was no brisket. Colorado, there was no brisket. Um, Georgia, there was no brisket when I was there, or at least they didn't talk about it. So now there's a transition to brisket, just like offset smoking. I mean, that is not a history of barbecue. I mean, they didn't, you know, it wasn't. There weren't offset pits built until a lot later on, because everybody cooked over a flame or over charcoal or over the top of wood, and not where it was offset. If you look at the history of the offset pit or offset grill, the first one, that's something that's probably, I don't know, 30 years old maybe. I don't know. Where's my Jamie at? Who can Google it? Let me see. Let me Google first offset cooker. The first commercially available offset smoker was a vertical mode with the firebox below the cooking chamber, shortly after a horizontal mode with an offset firebox. Man, give me the date. I don't want the history. Just give me the date. Yeah, it's not giving me a date. It's giving me a whole bunch of information that I don't need. Yeah, it's telling me people about stories about their first time using it. So yeah, I mean, it's like to each his own. Everybody's gonna like what they're gonna like, and I'm trying to help and bring something different to an area who has pretty good barbecue, you know. And like some people say, oh, if you cook, it's only barbecue if you're smoking, or it's only, man, it's just what you want it to be. If I cook it on a stick and I call it barbecue, it's barbecue. Oh, it's only barbecue if you do offset. Nah. If I cook it over charcoal, it's barbecue. But if you go to North Carolina or Goldsboro and you say, hey man, I'm going to get some barbecue, it's usually a pulled pork place. And if you say, hey man, I'm going to get some barbecue here, it's usually a brisket place. So it just depends on where and what you're at. That is what they're considered. Oh, it says barbecue has come a long way from being cooked in a hole in the ground, but how it is still offset less than 40 years old. So, see, 40 years of offset. So, there's been a long history of cooking before the offset actually pit was built. And there might have been some pits built that people just don't get um, the love for. Somebody back there in the rural areas of Habadoogie probably had one and was making great food forever, and then somebody stole his idea in passing, and then he did not get the love. May, what's up, bro? Buddha said he loved his offset smoker. Hey man, like I said, everybody, and Buddha is used to people cooking a whole hog in the ground. My brother and them, they his family and their nationality, they cook hog in the ground. Where we cook hog in the ground, we cook hog in the pit, we cook hog and we build a pit, we cook hog any way and anyhow we can. We're gonna cook that hog and we're gonna make sure that it's a good hole. It's just different. Like every place here um, has, hey man, I am going to such and such a place because they got that brisket, and a lot of people's brisket are just different. Knock knock. What color is whose barbecue sauce? Oh, ain't red. Oh. Yeah, my barbecue sauce has a red. Well, I guess it really doesn't have a too much of a red tint. It is reddish to be. So I'm kind of confused on this thing. It said everything's supposed to be over here in one section, and it's got it separated. So I'm gonna have to learn that. So I had to switch. I know I'm all over the place, but I had to switch from StreamYard because StreamYard tried to double their price. And man, oh, it's called a Umu. Is that how you say it? Buddha, Umu, Umu, Umwa, Umu. Um, they they try to double the price. So now I'm using Ecamm Live, and I just started, so I'm trying to figure it out. It has so many different things that you can do with it. It is crazy. Like I could, but it's just a lot of things over here, and I figured Instagram would be over here, but it's not. YouTube should be over here, but I don't see the messages popping up from YouTube. If anybody's from YouTube, send a message so I can see if it pops up over here in comments and reactions. If you guys want lumpia, I'm gonna give Maria a shout. DM her. You may have to come to the Burl and get it, but it sold out in Colorado extremely fast. I took 200, and 200 was quick. It was real quick, and Colorado showed me a lot of love. That I happen to be the only food truck there, or I should say food tent, which also was wonderful. And man, those people were ready and they were hungry, and they ate up lumpia, and they ate up chicken, they ate up baked beans, and the lady was like, "Why don't you have potato salad?" I was like, "Well, it was a long way to travel and to try to prepare potato salad in the hotel." And she was like, "I'd have made you the potato salad." Ma'am, I don't know you. How do I know? You might have brought potato salad, got grapes and walnuts and pecans in it. How the hell I'm gonna give somebody that? You just can't take everybody's food and put it as your own and be like, yeah, who made the potato salad? That's the first question at a cookout is who made the potato salad? And I can't sell somebody else's potato salad if I don't know you, man. I don't know you make good potato salad. I can't do that. People be like, man, Vic's chicken was great, but man, he had potato salad. It had grapes and sunflower seeds and, that type of stuff. It had spicy mustard. Shit, man, I don't know what you got going on. So, go Commanders. Folks, like I said, my brisket was terrible yesterday. It was good for home, not good to sell. And every time I make a brisket, it needs to be both. If I'd have made it on my Traeger, because it's set it and forget it, it'd be easy. Since I tried it on the pit, my second time on the pit, the first time I did it on the pit, my dad was there and it turned out great. This time, I wasn't paying attention and it did not turn out really good. So if you guys want to come on, let me know before the game starts. It is 11:22 a.m. Central in Houston, Texas. Football's about to get fired up. I know that the Cowboys ain't playing till 4:30. I know my team ain't playing till Monday. So if you guys want to hang around, let's keep talking about it. Tell me about a time when you put something on the pit for your family or for yourself, and you end up ordering pizza because you weren't paying attention. Last night we probably could have had an order if what I cooked last night was for dinner. We'd have probably had to order pizza. So we said, well, what'd you cook it for dinner? I cooked it to practice. I cooked the ribs to practice. I cooked the brisket to practice. And the brisket was going to be for today. The ribs would have been for today because I started late morning. I was running behind, so I started late morning. I was going to cook the brisket all evening. And then I was going to put the ribs on early, get those off. I cooked bacon wrapped jalapeno shrimp from HEB. I cooked those on the pit. I cooked the sausage on the pit. All those was great. Rushed the ribs. The ribs had a great flavor, but not to the ability to sell. The brisket has a great color. The brisket is still juicy, not to sell. Now, I know some people would still sell. I will not. I would rather take a loss than send my customers trash. Because once you sell trash for the first time, people will be like, oh man, the first time I had it was good, but the second time, man, that was trash. And I don't ever want my dad's name to ever be considered trash or anything, because every time he had an event or every time we helped him with an event, everything was spot on. Now, there's probably some times I could probably ask him that, with some times that everything didn't go well. He'll probably say yes, but they never ever didn't go well when we were all out there. And he was pulling strings for about 8 people, because that's how many people he had out helping. When you're trying to feed 300 to 400 to 500 people, um, you think things are going to happen. You got 5 pits out there. You're cooking 5 cases of chicken, which is about 400 pieces of chicken. You're cooking a whole hog. You're cooking 14 turkeys, and you're thinking something is going to happen, but it doesn't. Everything works out perfectly. Everything comes out. Everybody's waiting to eat. You got potato salad, green beans, cabbage. You got 20 different desserts. You got fried fish to order. When you go outside, they're pulling the fish out, putting it straight on your plate. And he's managing all these different things in one spot. And hopefully I have it down to where I can manage the guy that's frying the fish. Hey man, you go ahead and start dropping the fish because people are here to order. You don't cook the fish until people get there. Great. Boom. We've been cooking all night. Leg quarters, hog, turkeys, all night. We're out there. And we was able to manage it and put it together. So that's why I wouldn't sell what I cooked yesterday, because it wasn't presentable or flavorful enough or good enough for the public consumption to sell. Because like I said, one time, it only takes one time. People will cut you down before they praise you. So if they can only praise you all the time, then that's the best way to go. So I would never sell anything that I did not think was up to par. Hey Maria, who's starting tonight for the Dolphins? I know you said go Dolphins. Who's starting? Who's the quarterback for the Dolphins tonight or today? That's a good question. I don't know that answer. So also coming up, guys, we got Brothers Barbecue. We got A. Coley. We got Alex Spears. We got Dino Filial. And these guys are going to come up. We got Preston, Craver the Third. We got chefs. We got barbecue experts that are going to be coming up hopefully once a month, maybe twice a month. And we're going to talk barbecue on each side. We got some, we got one out here in the West. We got a couple that's in the upper East Coast. We got one that travels everywhere. We got one that's a food truck. We got one that's another caterer. So we got all different aspects of barbecue. We got a caterer out in Oregon slash barbecue expert. We've got a caterer in the DC, Virginia area slash barbecue expert and fisherman. We've got two in North Carolina, one with a food truck, barbecue expert, one that's a caterer, barbecue expert, and we got one that travels as a chef going to different places. And I'm going to pick all their minds on how hard and difficult it is to run the things that they're trying to get accomplished, you know, which is going to be great TV. We're going to laugh, we're going to cut up, we might smoke cigars, we may have a drink, we may do all those different type of things. So make sure you guys tune in. I'm going to put the schedule out for you guys to see when those great cooking minds are available. And we're going to go forward from there. We're going to have a blast. You hear me? We're going to teach you some stuff and we're going to learn some things. You know what I'm saying? These guys feed thousands of people a week. And we're going to pick their brain to see how they're doing it. I'm just starting. I've fed hundreds and hundreds of people. Now it's time for me to push it away from my dad because getting older, is 84 years old, about to be 85, to push it to where it should have been 30 years ago when we were selling plates out of the house. So now we're back. It is 11:30. I'm glad you guys are still hanging with me. What a terrible day yesterday, man. That cook just has my mind messed up. My mind was so messed up, I was thinking I was going to go to the store this morning at 6 a.m., get another brisket and try it again. But I am, but it won't be today. It'll be tomorrow. Just a brisket so I can see there's no other distractions, no other issues, just a brisket and me, and we're going to dance. We're going to see who has, if I can outmaneuver this brisket, because man, it right, what's going on, bro? It is a tough it was a tough go yesterday. And one of those goes you be like, damn, am I good, or can I only cook certain things? It was that type of day, and I'm pretty sure everybody has had that type of day. Should I even be trying to sell food that I got whooped that bad? That's the kind of day. That's the kind of day it was. That's how bad I got whooped, folks. That's how bad it was. Hey, I gotta see if I can. Uncle Michael let me borrow his coleslaw recipe. Yeah, Uncle Mike out of Oklahoma got a great coleslaw recipe. Let me add that to my repertoire to see if I can move that one into better places. So, man, I ain't gonna hold you guys much longer. Nobody want to jump in. Vic's world famous chicken in the cooler, coming at you live from Houston, Texas, to tell you about a terrible cook I had yesterday. And just want to know I'm humble enough to say I messed up, and gracious enough to say I can do better, and I will do better. Hey, shoot me a DM. In the future, if you guys want to be on the show, just let me know. I'm looking for everybody who barbecues. If you cook in your backyard, that's barbecue. If you cooking for people to sell, or you cook for family members, and you think you can bring some interesting insights to the world of cooking, maybe you be like, man, I cook turtle. I just put the whole turtle on the pit live. I don't know. Come on in here and tell me about it, and we'll do it. Thank for y'all watching. I may come back on again a little bit later. Then again, maybe not. It depends on how my day is looking. Hey, y'all have a great Super Sunday. Go Commanders.